Technology World presented by Dr. Mohsen Ashraf. Supervised learning is a type of machine learning where an algorithm learns to map input data to corresponding output labels based on a labeled dataset. The algorithm is supervised in this learning paradigm because it learns from the provided examples of inputs and their corresponding correct outputs. The algorithm aims to learn a mapping function to make accurate predictions or classifications on new, unseen data. Here's a breakdown of supervised learning with examples. Data collection and labeling. In supervised learning, you start with a dataset that includes pairs of input data and their corresponding correct output labels. This dataset serves as the training data for the algorithm. Labeling the data involves assigning the correct outputs to the corresponding inputs. Training. The algorithm uses the labeled training dataset to learn the relationship between inputs and outputs. It adjusts its internal parameters or model structure to minimize the difference between its predictions and labeled outputs. The goal is to find a mapping function that generalizes well to new, unseen data. Testing and evaluation. After the algorithm has been trained, it's tested on a separate testing or validation dataset. This dataset contains new examples that the algorithm hasn't seen during training. The algorithm's predictions are compared to the true labels, and various evaluation metrics are used to assess its performance, such as accuracy, precision, recall, F1 score, etc. Examples of supervised learning. Image classification. Given a dataset of images of different animals along with corresponding labels, e.g., cat, dog, horse, a supervised learning algorithm can be trained to recognize and classify new images into the correct categories based on the patterns it learned from the training data. Email spam detection. In this case, the algorithm learns from a dataset of emails labeled as either spam or not spam. By analyzing the content and features of these emails, the algorithm learns to distinguish between spam and legitimate emails, and it can then classify new, incoming emails as spam or not. Medical diagnosis. Suppose a dataset contains patient data, including symptoms and disease diagnoses. A supervised learning algorithm can learn to predict the correct diagnosis for new patients based on the patterns it learned from the training data. Stock price prediction. Using historical stock price data along with various relevant features, such as market trends, trading volume, and economic indicators, a supervised learning algorithm can learn to predict future stock prices. It learns the relationships between these features and the subsequent price movements. Language translation. Given pairs of sentences in two languages and their translations, a supervised learning algorithm can learn to translate text from one language to another. It learns the linguistic patterns and semantic relationships between words and phrases to produce accurate translations. In summary, supervised learning involves training an algorithm using labeled data to predict or classify new, unseen data. It's widely used in various fields to solve problems requiring predictions or decisions based on available data. Thanks for watching.